Hello everybody, my name is Drew Massey and I'm the director here at Game Time Sports and Training. We are excited to be part of this movement series brought to you by Spring Hill Public Library. In our section today, we're going to take you through an athletically based, performance-enhancing workout that's going to allow you to excel at your given sport, no matter what sport you play. We're going to take you through a warm-up to prepare the body for the movements that we're going to do. We're going to work on total body power and speed development. When we're done with our speed development, we're going to move directly into strength training, and then once we're done with strength training, we're going to go into our conditioning section to make sure that you arrive in tip-top shape. And finally, we're going to take you through some flexibility and mobility drills that make sure that you can get into the positions that you need to get into for your sport. So if you're ready to become an athlete, continue watching and we'll get started with this warm-up. For our warm-up, we need one piece of equipment. If you're working out at home, you can use a belt. We're going to use a stretch strap. This is the only piece of equipment that you're going to need for our warm-up. Our warm-up does four things for us. It prepares our body for the movements that we're going to get ready to do, so we're going to rehearse those movements. It primes our central nervous system so that our brain can talk to our muscles and allow our muscles to do what they're supposed to do. It's also going to increase our core temperature so that we start to sweat a little bit and make sure that our body's ready to move. And lastly, we're going to make sure that we are able to get into the positions necessary through some mobility training right here off the start. So if you're ready, guys, go ahead and grab your stretch strap or just a belt right there at home. A rope will also work. We're going to go through this in real time, so follow me. First exercise we're going to do is called a leg drop drill. We're going to lay on the floor nice and flat. We're going to hook our rope or our belt into the arch of our foot. We're going to lay down flat with our head on the ground, and we're going to bring both feet up at the same time. Now, maintaining a good posture on the ground with our head touching, our shoulder blades and our hips touching the floor, we're going to drop our free leg all the way to the floor, making sure our other leg is perfectly straight. We're going to get 5 reps right here, and then we're just going to simply switch. This is number 5, and now we're going to switch. And we're going to drop this leg 5 times. 2, 3, it's not fast, it's not slow, it's just under control. 5. Now that we're done with that stretch strap, we're going to stay in this position and go right into what we call a floor slide. So from here, we're going to pull our elbows down to the floor and rotate our fist back so that our forearm and fist is on the ground. From here, we're going to reach up nice and high, and we're going to pull our elbows back down towards our rib cage. Reach up again, nice and high. Big inhale. And on the way down, exhale. Again, nice and high. Pull down. Nice and high. Pull down. Pretending like you're trying to scrape the hair off of your forearms as you slide them on the floor. That's 5 reps. And we're going to move into our glute bridge. So for our glute bridge, we're going to crush an imaginary quarter between our knees, and we're going to keep an imaginary quarter between our ankles. So we want those 2 things to touch. Hands are flat. We're going to drive those hips up nice into the air. Hold it for 1,001, 1,002, and back down. Again, 1,001, 1,002, and back down. Up. Back down, up, number 4, back down, and up, number 5. Now, for the final exercise that we're going to perform on the floor, it's going to be an isometric hip flexion exercise. So, we're going to lay down flat on the floor, and we are going to pull our knee so that it's roughly in line with our hip. From here, I'm going to take a straight arm, I'm going to press my palm into my knee, and I'm going to drive my knee into my hand, feeling tension right here in my hip flexor. We're going to hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So right hand to left knee. Now, press your palm into your knee and your knee into your palm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can relax and go ahead and stand up. For the next part of our warm-up, we need an area that's roughly 10 yards long. So go out into your backyard, go into your driveway, or perhaps go into your street. I've got pieces of tape set up, and you're going to be able to watch me go through these movements. Our first exercise is going to be a knee hug. And our knee hug exercise is going to start at one cone. We're going to stay nice and tall. We're going to pull our knee to our chest, pull our toe up, take 1, 2, 3 steps in between, knee to chest, pull our toe up, 1, 2, 3 in between, knee to chest, pull our toe up, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. From there, guys, we're going to walk back to our starting cone, and we're going to do another exercise. That other exercise is going to be a quad pull. So from here, I'm going to grab my shoelace and pull my heel to my hip, reaching our hand up nice and long, and take those 3 gather steps. 1, 2, 3, quad pull. 1, 2, 3, quad pull. We're going to do this about 3 times per side. Our next exercise is going to be our leg cradle. And for our leg cradle drill, we are going to go over our shin and under our knee. So that you can see it closer up, we're going to go over our shin, under our knee, and then hug it up nice and tall. From there, guys, let's go ahead and do that. So walk back to our start cone. And now, over the shin, under the knee, hug it up. 1, 2, 3, over the shin, under the knee. 1, 2, 3, over the shin, under the knee. Again, about 3 per side, for however long it takes you to get those 10 yards. And now that we're done with our knee hug, quad pull, and leg cradle, we're going to go into our standing march, or an acceleration march. So start back at your cone. We're going to get a nice tall posture, and all I want you to do is march so that your feet are popping off the ground, and we're bringing our thigh up enough to break an imaginary pane of glass right there at our hip. Let's get our arms moving in synchronization with our legs, and take it forward. Think up, 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 knees up, chest up, toes up, hands up. Once we're done with our marching pattern, we're going to move into a skipping pattern. So you may want to do this in place first, and we're just going to get what we call an acceleration skip. Our feet are still going to pop off the ground. We're still going to break that imaginary pane of glass with our thigh, but now we want to make it more rhythmical. So from here, double contact on the ground. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good skipping pattern, good arm action, good leg action. We're going to take it forward. "10 yards, and then we're going to walk back to the starting cone. From our high knee or our acceleration skip, we're going to go into an acceleration run. Again, nice and tall posture, popping the feet off the ground, breaking that imaginary pane of glass with our thigh. Now we're going to move our legs in a piston-like fashion, straight up and down, as fast as we can. Let's start in place, and then we'll take it forward. Let's go in place, up and down, and now let's take it forward. Now that we've gotten our march, our skip, and our run, we're going to go back, and we're going to do what we call heel kicks. And the secret to the heel kick is to continue to push your knee forward, but at the same time, zip your hip, all right? Zip your heel to your hip. We don't want the leg going behind us. So punch the knee forward, zip the heel to the hip. We'll start back in our cone. Practice in place. and take it forward. It also helps to think about trying to smash an M&M right between your calf and your hamstring. So 10 yards will take care of those heel kicks. And now, guys, let's work on, we've moved forward, let's work on moving backwards. So start at your cone. I'm going to backpedal away from you. We want nice short steps, and we're pushing the ground away. So good athletic stance. Push, 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 push. All the way to your 10-yard start cone. And now we're coming back to our cone. We're going to work side to side. So let's get those shuffles. Good athletic stance. We're going to push hard off our outside leg. We're going to shuffle hard for 10 yards. Ready? Go. Let's walk back to our cone. And now you're going to face the other direction. And now we're going to push off our other leg. Athletic stance. Ready? Go. Our last warm-up exercise is going to be karaoke. All right? A lot of athletes have done this for years, but we want to make sure that when we cross our knee over our body, that we're leading with our knee and not with our heel. So in our karaoke pattern, the knee crosses midline first, step behind. So here we go. 10 yards, good athletic stance, karaoke. 10 yards, walk it back. And let's do the same thing. Remember, big hard crossover, knee leads across our belly button first. Karaoke, go. Now that you've done those exercises, you should be prepared for the demands of the workout. Now that we're good and prepared for our workout, we're going to go into our power and speed development. We're going to complete 3 exercises in circuit fashion. One's going to be for power, another exercise is going to be for our core, and our third exercise is going to be for our speed development. Our first exercise for power is going to be a simple squat jump. Now, we want to do this with no counter movement. So we're going to get in a great athletic stance, and we're going to get 5 reps. So we're going to get in a great athletic stance from here. We're going to hold this position for 1,001, 1,002, and we're going to jump up as high as we can, trying to touch our fingertips to the ceiling. 1,001, 1,002. Up! Stick. Make sure we stick that landing. Chest up, knees over toes. 1,001, 1,002. Up! Stick. 1,001, 1,002. Up! Stick. 1,001, 1,002. Up! Stick. 1,001, 1,002. Up! Stick. 1,001, 1,002. That's 5 reps. Give yourself a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to go into our core exercise. Our first core exercise is going to be a simple bear plank. So, we're going to get in a bear position, almost as if we're going to bear crawl. We're going to be on all 4s. Spread our shoulder blades apart. Take your belt buckle to your belly button. I'm going to lift your knees 1 inch off the floor. Ready? We're going to hold it for 20 seconds. And up. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Now we're going to go into our speed development. So again, take your 10-yard cones that you have, your backyard or in your driveway, put those cones 10 yards apart. We're going to work on what I call a 2-point start. So for our 2-point start, we're going to get behind our cone. We're going to make an L with our shoes. So heel to heel, make an L. Then we're going to spin that back leg and see where our shoelaces are. Crouch down, lean into our sprint, and we're going to sprint for 10 yards. It's going to look like this. Go ahead and make an L with our shoes. Spin that back foot. Crouch down. take off. Guys, you're going to walk back to the start position, and we're going to do another sprint. Make an L, pivot that back foot, find those shoelaces on our shoes, move our foot back, crouch, lean, take off. Guys, we're going to repeat that sequence 2 more times. So, pause the video if you need to. Let's get 5 more squat jumps, 20-second bear plank, 2 sprints. 5 more squat jumps, 20-second bear plank, and 2 sprints. Now that we've done our warm-up and we've done our power exercises, guys, now we're going to get into the first part of our strength. Since we're working out at home, we have to assume that we're just going to use our body. So our first 3 exercises are going to be a push-up, a reverse lunge with knee drive, and a core exercise called a hollow hold. So let's get into push-up position and make sure that we're doing great push-ups from the floor. So let's start from the bottom, hands even with our chest, our chin tucked in, our hips are tight, our legs are tight. Everything comes up as one unit, and we're going to get 8 reps. 1, down, chest touches, up, 2, 3, nice and slow, 4, under control, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guys, if you need to drop to your knees, that's perfectly fine. We can lower ourselves, let our chest touch, and push back up for 8 reps as well on those push-ups. Our second exercise, after our push-ups, give yourself about a 30 to 45 second rest, and then we're going to go into a reverse lunge with knee drive. We're going to get 8 reps per leg. We're going to start out in a nice tall posture. We're going to step back into a great lunge position, allowing our knee just to kiss the floor, and as we stand up, we want to be aggressive and drive that knee forward. We should look like the sprinter at the top. So that's 1 rep. Let's get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get the other leg. Step back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, take another 30, 45 seconds rest, and our third exercise is going to be our hollow hold. Lay on the ground. We want our toes pointed toward the ceiling and our arms above our head. When you're ready, go ahead and lift your shoulder blades and head off the ground, and lift our feet off the ground, and we're going to hold this position for 20 seconds. You're trying to make your body look like a banana or a canoe. Fight through it. And rest. You're going to repeat that sequence 2 more times. 8 push-ups, 8 reverse lunges with knee drive, and a 20-second hollow hold. Our second set of exercises are going to involve another 3 exercises. Our first exercise is going to be called a lying T, Y, and I for our back and our shoulder blades. Then we're going to perform a single leg squat for our lower body, and then we're going to perform a side plank. The only piece of equipment that you're going to need for this is a chair that you can find at your house. Any chair will work. So for our first exercise is going to be a lying I, Y, and T. We just need to lay flat on the ground. So as we lay flat on the ground, we're going to put our arms out. We should look like an I. we're going to perform 5 arm raises in this position. Thumbs up means we're doing a good job. So, tuck that chin, put that forehead on the turf, raise it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you're going to move it out 45 degrees so that now you look like a Y if you were looking at me from above. Same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lastly, we're going to move it into a T. So bring it down. So now we should be 90 degrees from our body. And we're going to perform T's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's going to help to imagine that you're trying to crush a pencil between your shoulder blades for those exercises. Now for our core exercise, it's just going to be a simple side plank. What we're going to do is lay on our side. And if we need to, we're going to stack our feet. When you're ready, pull a bowstring back, an imaginary bowstring. Get that other arm up nice and high like you're pulling back a bow and arrow. You're going to raise your hips up. You're going to push your hips slightly forward. We're going to hold this position for 15 seconds. And then drop. You're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And now, for our lower body exercise, you need to pull out a chair. I'm going to use an 18-inch box, but you can use a chair that you have at your house. We're going to start seated in the chair, and we're going to let one foot hover. The other foot needs to be cemented into the ground so that our heel's in contact with the floor as well as the ball of our foot and our big toe. From here, we're going to reach forward, we'll stand up on one leg, lower ourselves slow, sit back down on the chair, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then of course you're going to need to do that on the other side. You're going to repeat this sequence 2 more times, performing 5 I's, 5 Y's, 5 T's, a 15-second side plank on each side, and 8 single leg chair squats per leg. Repeat that 2 more times, and then you'll be ready to condition. Finally, we're ready to condition, and we're going to use a method by world-renowned sprint coach Charlie Francis called the tempo run or the tempo sprint. So you need to pick a section on your street that's going to be roughly 50 yards long, and all we're going to do is we're going to sprint that 50 yards at an intensity of about 70%. So I'm not looking for 100% effort on this. I'm looking for great sprinting mechanics, meaning that our chest is up, we're breaking glass with our thigh, lifting our shoelace high, and we're spinning that earth away. So we need good tall sprint mechanics, and we're going to run 50 yards at a time. Walk back to the start, and then repeat the next drill. We're going to start out with 8 of these, and each week add 2. So in 4 weeks, you'll get 8 on our first week, 10, 12, and finish with 14. So I'll show you what one looks like. You're going to get at your starting point. Nice and relaxed. Great sprint mechanics, 70% effort. Guys, you're going to walk back to your start and repeat that 7 more times. Now that we're finished with our athletic workout, we want to make sure that we maintain the flexibility needed to play our sport to our top performance. My favorite stretch, it's a one-stop shop for athletic performance. It's called the Spider-Man stretch. So guys, I want you to get in push-up position. We're going to bring our right foot right next to our right wrist. and we're gonna drop our back knee so that we feel a great stretch right through our hip flexion. Push your hips forward and lift your chest up. Take your hand and put it on your shoelace. And now we're gonna drive our knee away from our elbow, maintaining a long, tall spine. We're gonna hold this stretch for 20 seconds. And then we're just gonna simply switch. Left foot next to left wrist, drop our back knee, hips down, chest up, hand on our shoelace, and driving our knee away from our elbow. Hold that stretch for 20 seconds per side, and that's done, and we hope you've enjoyed this athletic workout from Game Time Sports and Training. Guys and ladies, we hope you enjoyed that athletic-based training session that you just went through on behalf of Game Time Sports and Training in conjunction with the Spring Hill Public Library. I am a huge fan of reading, and I wouldn't know how to train the way that I do without a love for books on the subject matter that I enjoy. My favorite quote on reading, and I can't remember the author of the quote, is, "The man who can't read has no advantage over the man that doesn't read." There are tons of information in books. If you find subjects that you enjoy, I'm going to challenge you this summer to spend 30 minutes a day, or perhaps just try to read 10 pages out of a book that you enjoy every day this summer. At the end of the year, if you do this consistently, you will have read 3,650 pages of information. If you want more information on how to train like an athlete or how to train athletically, I suggest the book Core Performance by Mark Verstegen, and also Advances in Functional Training by Coach Mike Boyle. If you're interested in jumping higher and plyometrics, I'm going to recommend the book High Power Plyometrics by James Radcliffe. Guys, I have a ton of books right here, and I love to read. I try to read 30 minutes a day or 10 pages, and I challenge you to do the same. Happy training.